I don't know what is going on with my volume, but it is not working right. Okay, perfect. Okay, welcome guys. Happy Thursday, which I said this and I thought you guys could hear me and you couldn't, but it's all fixed now. Happy Thursday. We just got off the call with Jason Camper. Little sneak peek into some excitement about Thrive King. We're already like 2 weeks into September. Like before we know it, it's going to be the end of September. We've already had 2 weeks of time to run and get some bonuses. Hopefully you guys are getting closer to snagging the 4K one. And also, if you guys haven't already, I did put a thing in the challenge group about purchasing the new DFT or the UI, and the two things they just came out with. And if you do that and you put your order in the chat, I'm going to do a drawing to just to give people their money back. So if you haven't ordered, get that. I did put the new DFT on, and you can feel it. I'm just saying. You can absolutely feel it. So definitely, if you're one of those people walking around wearing 3 patches, and I know who you are, okay, I've seen you. You don't have to do that with this. You can probably just wear one. And I'm so excited, you guys. If you guys are in the Destination a Millionaire challenge, or whether you're not, it doesn't matter. Everything we train is for everybody. It's always good. But specifically for that group of people, we have been kind of diving into Instagram this week a little bit more, because honestly, I kind of just feel like Facebook, it's great, but you have to be willing, especially if you're planning on basically building 99.9% of your business behind a computer or a phone. The more ways that you can figure out how to do that, the better, right? The more platforms we utilize, the more contacts we make. And Instagram is kind of that natural progression, I feel like, after Facebook. Probably the most comfortable for people. Really doesn't matter your age, right? Like when I say go do a reel or join TikTok, some people might go, whoa, I'm like 90. I don't want to do that. I know I was like that. But just being part of Instagram is a natural progression. And it's funny because when we were talking in the Millionaire Challenge group, there is a lot of people that didn't even have an Instagram that just started one. So that's exciting, because I think it's just one of those things where if you haven't used something before, you're scared of it. Like I remember I was on MySpace. Okay, that really shows my age. And who had a MySpace? Don't make fun of me. But I remember my girlfriend was like, you need to get on this Facebook thing. And I'm like, I'm never doing that. MySpace is the shit. I got a song, a profile picture. You go like, I am not doing no Facebook. That's boring. There's no songs there. Like, I just was never going to do Facebook. And then even coming into this industry, you guys, I had like 100 friends, right? It was just like people I had known from high school, and it was so small. And now here I am, several years later with, 25,000 followers and 5,000 Facebook friends, and doing videos. I never thought I would do a video or a live or even a reel that I've started diving into. So if you're like one of those people and you're scared of it, I promise you, Instagram is something I really just started diving into this year. Literally January, I was like, I am gonna start doing this daily. And I really have kept up on it more. And it's crazy. I went from like 900 followers, and you guys are probably like, whatever, but I have like 3,500 now. And what I like about it though, is that they're very organic. They're people I'm meeting. They're choosing to follow me. And I think you realize a lot that it's not about numbers either. Like you could scroll through Instagram or Facebook and see somebody with 30 billion followers. None of those mean anything if you're not connecting with people and they're not genuine people that you have relationships with. So it's not about getting started. You have to start somewhere. Just know that. So I wanted to bring Chas on because I know she does work her business through Instagram. She was kind of like me, Facebook chick, and then she's been doing Instagram a lot longer than me. But Chas, so far, like kind of what we've been teaching in this group and what we've talked about a little bit is kind of taking those things that you have, like we always talk about those 5 things that make you on Facebook, right? Well, kind of translating those into hashtags over on Instagram and searching for people that have the same passions as you. following people that are, you know, whatever that is for you, whether you're into a certain hobby or whether you have certain kind of dogs or you have kids of a certain age, finding people that are like-minded like you to go follow and, you know, build connections with, and they follow you back, and spending time in your, you know, timeline every day and making sure that you're um, just kind of posting consistently, utilizing your stories. We also taught them how to make sure that they're saving time, like connect your stuff. So if you post something on Instagram, it goes to Facebook, it goes in both stories. You can take a reel, save it in your phone, and then go share that same reel to Facebook. Like saving time, working smarter, not harder, those kind of things. So just very basic stuff so far. But I thought you could just come in and kind of share what you do, how you meet people, any tips and tricks you might have Instagram wise, like for really anybody that would be helpful. And then at the end of this, I would love to get a couple assignments from you to give people tonight, well, for tomorrow, for our challenge group, where they can actually go and do a couple things that maybe they haven't tried before, or even if they have, maybe just doing it a different way or how you spin it type of thing.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on, Lisa. Hey guys, it's so good to see y'all's faces. It's been a minute since I've seen a lot of your faces. And when Lisa asked me to do this, I'm like, wait, me? Because there's so many of our leaders and people in our organization, sideline, downline, upline, every line, that are definitely more qualified in this area. I do have, I was looking at my thing, I've got 13,000 followers, organic followers. These are people that, you know, I don't pay for followers. I don't pay for people to like me. This is not a popularity contest. This is a place where I can build and grow and continue to lead this incredible organization that I have the honor to lead. But when Lisa was saying, you know, about Instagram, I like Facebook. We know the algorithm is in the crap hole, but I do love Instagram. But I will say, my first thing that I want to say about Instagram is do not compare to anyone else. Do not look at someone that's killing it on Instagram and go, oh my gosh, she does 15 reels a day, or she gets 1,000 likes. You be you. And so I want to ask you this, and this is something you should know very quickly, very easily. You can drop it in the comments below. If I were to go to your Instagram, if I were going to say, okay, I'm gonna go follow Amy. I meet Amy at the grocery store, and I am gonna, I'm gonna go follow her. What can I expect to find on your Instagram? And I know we've talked about niche and the 5 things and things like that, but I want to know, if I just go to your Instagram, if I go to your wall, what are the things that I'm going to find? I'm going to give you a little help with mine. You're going to probably find faith. You're going to find a scripture, a motivational quote. You're going to find an empowering word, some type of graphic that's going to have a quote or a scripture on it. You might find you're going to see something, me outdoors. You're going to see me outdoors, playing in the mud, doing a hike, doing a run. You're also going to see product. You're also going to see my kids, my children, my family. And now you're going to see a lot about heart health, overdose awareness. You're going to see a lot about being a new widow. You're going to see a lot of things that have those conversations. And so I want you to know very, very drilled down, what does your page represent? Now, if I go on there and I'm like planting and DIY and cooking and all that, people are going to be like, oh, what is this? Like Chas, if we know Chas, we know she doesn't cook. I mean, thank God that I can get like DoorDash and stuff out here now in the country. Like, they're going to know, why is she trying to show us a meal? Now, you will see me blend up some fun shakes on my story. You may see me come up with some fun recipes, or I may be at the latest salad bar that just opened up, and I'm going to share a cute video of that in my Instagram. But really, that's more so to target and market that location more than it is to show you a recipe or something that's yummy. I like to do the whole play with your food hashtag, like have fun with it. you know, and I still do 8.5 years. I try to do that Motivation Monday, Transformation Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Thankful Thursday, Flex Friday, Social Saturday, Spiritual Sunday. That's just kind of something that I've done. I've laid it out in my mind just so that if I, for some reason, you know, life gets crazy today and I need to go, okay, what do I need to post about today? Transformation. It doesn't have to necessarily be a transformation physical or a Thrive related transformation. Maybe it's just a transformation that, you know, I've taken the, you know, summer stuff down. I've got my fall decorations up. So people know when they come to my page what they're going to get. And I get this all the time in my my DMs. I love to come to your page for inspiration. I love to come to your page to see what you're doing fun. I love to, you know, and so there is a niche with that. And if you look back, that has evolved. You know, maybe you are involved in a hobby and you love that hobby and then life changes. Maybe you're, you know, a senior mom. Say, for example, you're a senior mom. And so you're posting about Friday Night Lights, you're posting about football things, and that's just your life. Your news feed is just that. Every Friday is a Friday Night Light. You're posting about whatever it is that your kid is doing. And say next year you go into, they've graduated, they're on to college, and that changes. So one thing that you can't be afraid of is evolving on your feed. If you are learning a new dance and you've never been a dancer on, you know, on TikTok or any of the social spaces, and you're like, hey, I'm learning to dance, and you want to evolve into that, then fine, do that. And I know for Lisa and I, we're a little bit older, so we might drop it like it's hot, but we're not getting back up, you know? So, you know, we don't want to put that on Instagram, but there's things that you do really, really well. And I think a lot of people are selling themselves short because they don't know. I can see right now, there's all ages. I see probably 20 years old, and correct me if I'm wrong. I see some legacy ladies on here that are probably in their 60s, 70s on here. If you're in that age group, drop it in the comments below, because shout out. But you may be going, well, I don't know what to post on Instagram because, you know, that's for all these youngins. No, it's not. You have something to offer to the community that they need to hear, but you've got to nail down what is it that you're good at. Maybe it's sewing, maybe it is gardening, maybe it's canning, whatever it is. Then once you know what those things are, guys, it is so important that you spend time working those hashtags, going back through your reels, going back through who is viewing your stuff. That's a networking room. That is like, if you are, every day that you make a post, it's not to see how popular you are, to see how many people love you. It's about building a business. And I can tell you, if I get 365 views or 365 on a reel, all the way up to 1,000, I can tell you what my connection is with that person on my Instagram. Are they a thriver? And the thing is, if it's 99% thrivers, you're not mastering your Instagram. You want new people, new connections every single day. You need to be meeting new people and having conversations with them in Instagram. You're relevant. You're relevant if you're staying within your niche. Now, if I go and post something on someone's page and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that recipe, you know, a coconut pie. I go in and I use a certain ingredient, blah, 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 and I change it up just to seem relevant to them. And I'm really not in that space. It's going to be hard to carry and continue on those conversations. I literally have met new people in Instagram that are on similar journeys that I'm on. There's a potential that I may be going to Costa Rica with new people. Like, if there's so many new things that are evolving and relationships that are being built because I am narrowed down to a niche. Are there other things that I love, and I love to watch people's feeds and I love to see what they're doing? I'm not a fashionista. I was looking at some of my photos from like from when I first started Lavelle 8.5 years ago. Look, y'all, legit, I'm still wearing the same clothes. Like, people are going to be like, she is not in the Millionaires Club. She still got on the same clothes. But that's just me. I'm not, you know, Lisa's very different. Like, she's very, you know, she's got the latest, greatest style. She's got fashion, that's just not me. So I don't pretend to try to operate in that space. And so for me, working Instagram, working Facebook, working any social platform is super easy and very natural for me. It's not a stress. It's not a strain. The other thing is because of the way I post and the way I engage, I see the relevant things to my life. There was a while that I was looking at some different fit over 40, building muscle and doing some different workouts. And I started getting like all these women with their naked bums, and I'm like getting all this crap on Instagram. And I recognized that it was because of some certain hashtags that I was using. And you have to be very, very intentional with those hashtags. Before it was like put in 35 hashtags, and the more hashtags, the better. Now they're really saying, in which that can change at any moment. They're saying find five that are important and relevant and that matter to you. One of the things that I like to use is, it's called, and there, y'all drop it in the messages below, because I'm a learner. Like, I'm always in the seat of learning. But there's an app, and it's called Tagomatic. And so, for example, I would put in here, let's see, I'm doing this thing on Wednesdays, which is our Wellness Wednesday. And I'm doing heart health awareness, building up to February, which February is heart health awareness. And so I'm building up to that. I'm going to do a big event and a big run. But if I go in here into Tagomatic and I put in heart health, it's going to give me the top trending hashtags. So it's got things on here like cardiology, cardio, heart attack, healthy heart, omegas, cardiologists, wellness, healthy lifestyle, heart disease, doctor, supplements, exercise. So these right here for me, if this is what I am focusing on today, if it's heart health, that's me, heart health, I am going to look through these hashtags for my new people. Literally, friends, I make hundreds of new connections, solid conversation connections a week. That can be 5 to 10 a day. I do not have time, nor do I want to be on my Instagram, on my social media every single day for 8 hours. I don't want to do that. There's other things in life that I want to do, and that's not it. But I want to work smarter, not harder. So here I can go to all of these hashtags, look through them on Instagram, find out who's using them. If supplements is something that is just being pushed by the marketing world, it's not really something that's, really legit people that I can have a conversation with and I'm going to talk to, then I'm not going to focus on that. And so I go through and I have a notepad in my, my phone, and I'll keep just the top 4 or 5. So then next week, I'm going to go and I'm going to focus on that top 4 or 5. And guess what? Those people are staying relevant. And I might have talked to Sally last week about heart health, and now I'm talking to her again, right? Well, she didn't buy my product last week, the first time I talked to her. Well, I know that there's times where people are like, I want to know what you're doing, like, give it to me, all of the things. But that's not what happens all the time. You have to develop that relationship. We have to, even on Instagram, where it's an instant, fast-paced relationship, people do have to know, like, and trust you. And they will like you and they will trust you because they recognize, like, hey, she enjoys running. The other day, there was last week, there was and I'm all about this. I work my Instagram and my Facebook locations based on when I'm going to be in an area, a relevant situation that I'm passionate about. For example, this right here that's sitting on my desk, it's a pregnancy resource center. It's an organization that I have sponsored for the last 5 years. They have been marketing on social media. People have been using the hashtag. This is something that is in my local community. I have been working on this since I got the invitation, as far as building relationship with people, because guess what? On September, whatever date this is that I'm going to this event, now I'm going to have face-to-face connection with people that I've been meeting on social media. I was literally at an event not too long ago, and this lady walked in and then she started whispering, and I thought, she's rude. She's talking about me. Like, I could tell she was talking about me. And her friend came over and she said, hey, Chas, she follows you on Instagram. And it's crazy because she started following me during my COVID journey. And then she started following me. I mean, she continued to follow me. And then so she has been connected me through this last year. Well, she and I mean, literally we had tears before we left that event. Like, we're besties now, not really, but it was, she felt like she knew me so well that when we sat down, we just started sharing our heart. She's local to my community. Now, everything I post, she's liking it. She's asking, what is this Thrive stuff? Like, all these things, all these conversations. But that is because I'm intentional. I'm not spending time watching about 30,000 reels a day. I'm creating reels. It's not in my comfort zone, but I take video everywhere I go and I create a reel. Guys, my reels, my transitions, people do that whole boom, 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 and then they're cute. Like, I've never done a boom, 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 and then I'm cute. Like, I don't worry about being perfect. I just worry about being me. I worry about being not stressed, and I worry about my reach. I want to continue to bring people into my space that need to sleep better, that need to feel better, that need mental clarity and focus. I like Lisa, I got my box with our 10-year anniversary thing. And I thought the new DFTs were just going to be like, this DFT for 10-year anniversary. And then I'm like, these things are freaking big. Like, are they supposed to go over your mouth? Like, they're super huge. When am I supposed to wear this, put this, like, if y'all don't know my story, when I started, I was like, I am too grown to wear a sticker. Now I'm wearing super size stickers. But if you look at the ingredients on the back, there is a change up to it. And I'm telling you, I've been wearing it. And I was telling my girls tonight, I'm like, I'm feeling really hungry. Now, I've been doing a lot more strength training and stuff like that. So my metabolism is kind of jetted up, but it definitely has revved up something. So I'm only 2 or 3 days into that. And you may think of, like, hey, Thrive King is coming out. If you're like me, I'm not a hype girl. I am going to be your hype squad, but I'm not going to hype something that I'm not passionate about. So Thrive King is coming out. Chas, how do I market that on my social platform if I don't even know what it is? What I market on is based on our history, based on facts, and based on what we've seen in the last 8.5 years. When Duo and Burn and all of those came out, we were given little information like you've been given now. And maybe you're going like, I don't even know what to say. You say what you've been given and you talk about the things you've been given. Weight loss is a tagline and a word that is just reaching across the masses. Oh, I lost my train of thought when I was telling you that. So one thing that I'm going to backtrack just a little bit, all over the place, squirrel. There was a runner. If y'all know me, I like to run, especially during the winter months, just to keep myself moving and keep my mind going, even when it's gray and yucky outside. And there was a runner in Tennessee that her life was taken on a morning run. And so it was Finish Eliza's Run. Friends, that day of that run, I literally had to put my phone up because there were so many new people. As people were posting Finish Eliza's Run on social media, on Facebook, I went and I added my picture into the comments of all these people. Well, Chas, you don't know them. You're not friends with them. Did you send them friend requests? The answer is no. I did not send one friend request, but I posted my picture probably 100 times in strangers' comments. It was follow, someone followed you, followed, someone followed you, someone followed you, someone followed you. It just was like all day long, new people were following me. And the funnest part about it, none of them knew y'all. They were all people that we had zero mutual friends. They weren't connected to any of the Thrive community. They were all organic people that love to run, were passionate about this movement. And I took the time to go in and post something that said, hey, you did the work, you did this, and you participated in this. I want to know who you are. I want to know who you're about, what you're about. And that's exactly what I do in my Instagram is I spend the time, I take the time to develop that relationship. Now, the other thing that I would want to say, and Lisa, I'm going to go back to you just and take a breath because I'm sure I'm going all off and I know there's probably specific things you want me to cover, but is you have to go through and look at when you are using those hashtags, when you're using all of the engagement that you are, and know how much time that you have to dedicate to working your Instagram platform. Just like I said, you need to narrow down what you want your feed to look like. Who are you? What are you about? You need to know how much time that you have, and you need to give it that time to this business. Guys, we have been working this business for 8.5 years. Y'all know life has been crazy for everybody in the last year and a half. And then, life just kind of gets all crazy now that kids are going back to school and our schedules are going to change. So just like your hobbies, your interests, your niches, all of those things may change on your feed. So is the time that you have available to work this business, and you have to work it. You have to be consistent. You decide. The thing that I'm reading on a lot of the like Rob Johnson's and all the different things is there's a lot of different things, as far as like, what is the consistency? How do I nail down this algorithm? And I'll tell you right now, people are just saying the algorithm's in the dump. But for you, the way that you're going to master your Instagram, your accounts is by being consistent. So if you are a consistent, I'm going to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you need to show up Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that same time. If you are, I'm going to post in the morning at 8 a.m. every single day, then show up at that time. If you're going to post twice a week, then you need to be consistent on the days that you're posting. And then you've got to go back. This is something, and I think this is a key component that people miss, is we don't go back and audit our social media. Go back to, today is September 15th. Go back to September 15th of last year. What were you posting then? What did you post about? Sometimes I'm embarrassed of things. I'm like, oh, I made that graphic looks horrible. But go back. The people that you were talking to in Instagram in September of last year, we were in a different space, last year and the year before, people weren't having conversations. We weren't out and about meeting people. How many of you have ever gone back a year ago to see who you were talking to, who was liking your stuff? Where are those people now? Those are the same strategies that I did and do on Facebook that I do right here on Instagram. It is genius because there are people that I go back and have a conversation. Hey, how's it going? What's happening in your life now? Oh, girl, you will never believe how much has changed. I'm not sleeping well. I mean, it literally, people think that every time I message them, that I want to message them about Thrive. And that's not the case. I genuinely want to have a conversation. But if you're going to tell me that you're not sleeping well, I'm going to offer you a solution. So that is where I get my last two customers that have really the last customers in the last several months have come from Instagram. And it's because I am intentional with creating those connections. I also can tell you those people that are running, what kind of proteins are they drinking? What kind of pre-workouts are they drinking? And you're like, hey, Chelsea, that's just a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but here's the thing, friends. You don't, Leticia, your baby is cracking me up. There is a thing to be said for quality over quantity. When we came in 8.5 years ago, it was quantity. Just the numbers were just rolling in. People ask me all the time, Chelsea, if you could do anything different, what would it be? I would have throttled back. I would have slowed down. I would have built smarter. I'd have built stronger, and I'd have been a lot more intentional with the people coming in. Right now, you've got those bonuses happening right now that you can build new teams, new organizations. And the cool thing about every new day is you get to start over. The things that, it's kind of like parenting. I would say grandkids are like our do-over. We get to do it over, the things that we did wrong. Not so much wrong, but it's the things that we've learned. And so now we've got these new bonuses. We can create these new legs. We've got this new bleeding technology with this new Thrive King. So many new things that are happening. And it's like, hey, I get another chance. I get another opportunity to start again. And so what have you learned? What did you learn from the September last year, September in 2020, all those years looking back? Where have you evolved? How are you doing better in your social spaces? Lisa, I'm just going to take a breath to see if there's something specific. I know I went more high level. I didn't get into like the how to create a reel, how to do, I think those are things that y'all probably talked about or they can probably watch. But I think those were things that I think is so important. Like you said, some people don't even have an Instagram, but some people don't have they don't even know what the niche is. So, you know, if you're younger, if you're older, if you're a guy, if you're a female, you know, like, what is it that when I come to your page, I'm going to see? And the other thing is, you've got to get people's attention. If you're not getting people's attention, you're not going to have a conversation. If you're not getting their attention, I always say it's like that stop, drop, and roll. You want them to stop. You want them to read what you post. And then you want them to engage. You want them to roll up in your conversations. You want them to roll up in your comments. You know, we learned that stop, drop, and roll when we were kids, you know, in case of a fire drill. You want them stopping. You want them reading. You don't want the first line. And when it says see more, you want them clicking, because that click function, that function of clicking into see more or read more means, hey, Instagram, I really like what he or she posted. Show me some more. And so what it's going to do is going to show you more of those same hashtags. It's going to show you more of the things that are having be in that same conversation. It's going to say, oh, she likes this. Let me dump her in this bucket. And that's the things you're going to start seeing in your newsfeed. If it's all Thrive, you're going to start seeing all Thrive stuff. So Lisa, I want to pause for a minute and let you tell me if there's something you want me to.
No, and I think that like we already like had them, everybody's doing reels at this point and stuff like that. So they're actually doing that, which is good, good, good. And I think that, I mean, you went over quite a bit. One of the things that I remember you showing me, oh, that app, first question, is that app free? The one that gives you like the popular hashtags?
Yeah, so this one is absolutely free, and I'm not opposed to paying for things, but this one is. So one of the things you have to watch is, so when I hit copy, it's going to copy all these hashtags, and I can drop them into the comments section, but it's going to give me a hashtag of powered by Tagomatic. It's going to give a lot of different things. So don't just copy and throw it in there because it's a free version. You need to be strategic on what hashtag. So I back it up. I'll take out powered by Tagomatic. I'll, you know, anything that is not relevant, I pull it out, and I literally try to keep within that 5, maybe 6 hashtags in my comment section.
Okay, gotcha. And I remember one of the things that you showed me that I still do, and I don't know if you still do this, but if you go, like, let's say you do a hashtag, like, let's say I do the hashtag Morky, because I have a Maltese and a Yorkie mix. Okay. So I do that hashtag, and you know how like the very top one pops up and there's like 3.2 million followers of this group, this Morky group, right? Or this Morky Instagram.
Right.
And it's just somebody posting a bunch of dog pictures. Well, one of the things that you taught me to do was click on that one, right? Because it's not going to be that one. Like, that's not the person you want to follow, guys. You don't want to go follow the 3.2 million following person from that Morky page. What you want to do, though, is go to that person's feed, or whoever created that account. Go to the feed, find a post, and look at the people posting under the post. Look at the people commenting under their posts. Those are the people you want to connect with, not the, 5.5 thousand people. that person doesn't care about you. They're not going to notice you. They have way too many followers. So I thought maybe that could be one of their assignments. But talk a little bit about that and maybe what else you're doing to connect with people.
Well, I think you have to think of it like this. When you see that big number, I know the big number sounds like, oh, I want that 5 million people. Think of it as this. Do you want to speak to, okay, not do you want to speak to, but can you build a relationship with 5 million people in a room at one time for 10 minutes? Or can you build a relationship in a classroom setting or in a small kind of, meeting room with 20 people? If they said you have 10 minutes to go around, you could go around and say, what's everybody's name and what's your occupation? Everybody could go around in 10 minutes. And in that 20, you could find out something that maybe you have a solution to everyone in that group. To 5 million, there's no way. So you want to narrow down the conversations that you're having with people And for me, I want to narrow it down a lot more to my local community. I want to be able to meet for coffee. I want to be able to meet, yes, I'm a thriver and I'll meet for coffee. Y'all don't even get crazy. I want to be able to meet at the local gym. I want to be able to meet them at the gym that I go to. I want to have that face-to-face connection. And maybe you're like, that's not me. Okay, fine. But you've got to figure out what is your connection and your reach. If you're, reaching 30 people, are you going to make sure that you're having that conversation with them every single day, every week? What is that going to look like to you? So that's what I do, Lisa, is I go through one of the things with Reels that I do, and just to kind of increase that engagement too, is, we use the popular trending songs, using the popular trending songs, using the popular trending hashtags. And guys, just remember, you don't have to be doing a dance. You can be doing a fun hip hop song and it's you gardening. It can be fun like that. So don't overthink that, but going back in, like what Lisa said, going back into your hashtags, I literally, I will go through here and I'll look at all of these people. First of all, it's like, if you've ever watched me on Facebook, I always say, I want to go look at the blue people. When I go to a like and I want to engage on Facebook, I go and I scroll all the way up. So if I go, I'm going to just show you. So if I go to Facebook and I go to something that I've posted, say this post right here, and I go here and I look at this, who's liked it. My first ever is, I know that lights, is I go all the way up. There's like 400 comment or likes or whatever. So I'm going to go all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, until I get to what I call my blue people. Okay. And then I'm going to go through here and I'm going to look at my blue people starting at the bottom, because they're the most important right now in my mind, because that means maybe they're not connected to me because they're a thriver. And I'll go through and I'll go, okay, let me look at this person. Well, she's got 21 mutual friends. Odds are she's probably a thriver. Well, what about this one that has one mutual friend? Let me go see who her mutual friend is. Oh, that's someone that's not a thriver. It's someone local to my community. Oh, I'm going to go accept her. I'm going to go add her. I'm going to go send her a friend request. That's the exact same thing that I do over here on my Instagram. Is, okay, they're following me. They're liking my stuff. Why am I not following them? Now, ratio, as far as I have 13,000 followers and I'm only following 3,000 people, that's because there is a very intentional thing that I do as far as what I allow into my newsfeed. Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to get into my newsfeed. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. I am going to be intentional with who I see their stuff. Okay. So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to look at, I'm going to be like, okay, this person looks kind of cool. What do they do? Well, he's following me, obviously. And he does, I don't follow him back, but I'm going to go, why do I not? And I'm going to look through there. I'm going to see what I can see on them and see if it's something that I want to pursue, continuing a relationship. Maybe they run, maybe she's a, maybe she's in a grief group, whatever it is. I'm going to go through there and I can follow and look at them and see what our relevance is so that I can continue to build that relationship. So bottom line, Lisa, is I don't just create a post and love it and leave it. I don't do that. If I'm going to make a post, if I'm going to take the time to post it, I'm going to take the time to look at who's liking it, who's engaging, and then every single post, I'm going to go back through and I'm going to see who else is using those hashtags. So that is, if you want to create an organic reach, that is the work that you have to do on there. So when someone says, why are you not on TikTok? I am on TikTok, semi. Why are you not on Be Live? I can't keep up with all of those platforms and continue to build a social, an income. When I go and play on social media, not always is that being revenue producing. That's the truth. It's actually being very revenue distracting. So for me, I'm not going to go sit on there and TikTok, because TikTok stresses me out. I'm like, how do they move their body like that? And I'm doing the comparison and competing thing. But when I go to Instagram, I'm having new conversations. Am I talking? Ask yourself this. If you're on TikTok and Instagram and on Facebook, whatever, are you having conversations about Thrive? daily. If your answer is no, I love y'all, but you're playing on social media. You're not building a business on social media. Why are you not having, well, Chas, nobody's asking me. Are you asking them? Are you having the conversation with them? They used a run hashtag. What protein are they using? They used a run hashtag. What are they doing for energy? They used a grief hashtag. How are they resting at night? They used, whatever it is. Are you having that conversation? We can't expect everything to be given and handed to us. And I know y'all don't, because y'all are participating in this group that is another higher level of participation. You have to be the one initiating that conversation. If you're shy, if you're embarrassed, if you're afraid they're going to tell you no, the answer is they're going to tell you no, and you won't die, and it'll be fine. But if you want to build a legacy leaving income for your family, Instagram, social platforms, it's absolutely a way to do that. But if you're just posting for popularity posts, how many likes can I get? That's not going to cut it. I'm not worried about how many likes I can get. I want to know how many zeros I can get before the decimal in my checking account. Okay. So, and how is that going to happen? That's going to happen by finding people that are tired and exhausted. That's going to happen by finding people that need protein. That's going to be from people that need weight loss. That's going to be from finding people that, are robbing Peter to pay Paul. But where are you going to find them? You're going to find them, and you're going to have your sales in your DM. You're probably not going to sell and tell them to go order and here's your link and all of those things in the comments. You're going to have that conversation in your DMs in the private side. But I know for me, I'm not having a conversation with no one until I know, why are we relevant? What are we connecting about? And are we going to bring value to each other's lives? Lise?
Sorry. Phone was muted. No, all good. Like perfect. I think that you've given people like a lot of things that like to think about. Number one, like, are you really working a social media business, or are you playing around on social media? Like, that's something you have to ask yourself, because we can get super caught up in watching reels all day or scrolling through Instagram and, clicking on every dog video there is. But who else is clicking on those? Who else could you connect with? Who else can you follow? Like, making your time intentional, I think, is the biggest thing, because I think we're all guilty of being lost on social media, for sure. Like I've done it. I will go to TikTok to look at I don't know, find a recipe for my dinner that night. And then all of a sudden, 3 hours later, I'm still scrolling around because I saw something else. Then I clicked something else. None of it was relevant to my business. So that's super important. And then I think kind of a good task, because I know that is not the only app or free app there is to find hashtags that are kind of relevant to you. So if you kind of struggle with that, like, I don't know what hashtags to look up, or I know I have this kind of dog, but what other things would be relevant to that topic? Maybe one of the things would be find an app, find something that can help you with hashtags. And then I think another thing is just figuring out that different way of, going into those larger accounts, but also looking who else is involved in that larger account, who's commenting on those posts, and go to those people that are, that have 500 followers, 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers. That, I think, is where I know I was messed up. And I don't know if you learned this with me or if you already knew it, but remember that leadership thing we went to for Maria at that thing? And we were like at the hotel, it was like a leadership retreat or something for Maria. And do you remember, maybe you were already knew this, but I had no clue. So when I was looking up hashtags to attach to my posts and my reels, I was clicking on everything over 1 million. I thought that's what I wanted. I'm like, oh, those are the ones I want. And I learned there, you don't want that, because you'll kind of get lost in the shuffle, in the mix. You kind of want to look for ones that are more like, 5,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people, maybe, depending on how many followers you have. But those, like, using the hashtags of 2 million people use this hashtag today or whatever, you will kind of get lost in the shuffle when other people are kind of utilizing that hashtag to look like-minded people up. You're already pushed down, like your stuff's not popping up, so to speak. So that's something that I learned then. And it did make a difference, like for sure. Like even just on who was seeing my stuff, I noticed pretty immediately that more people were seeing posts, more people were seeing reels and stuff like that once I changed that whole hashtag. Once I stopped making all my hashtag like 5 million people hashtags. So can you think of anything else? I want to give them a couple assignments. Like just I'm gonna put these out, you guys. So if you're in the challenge group, I will make a post tonight. We'll put obviously what we do every day in Google Classroom. We'll put your assignments. But for those of you on here, sneak peek, I think one of them I definitely want to be finding an app that's going to help you with hashtags because I think that's super important. But like, what else do you think, Chas?
I think if y'all haven't done, and you can tell me if you already have, if they're, and I don't want us to get so caught up in like, what's my niche, what's my 5 favorite things, but if you have your 3 things, so for example, and it doesn't have to be just business. So for example, now a hashtag that I'm using often is widow, and I had a hard time with that word. I'm like, that word, don't be calling me names, but I had to embrace that is my truth. And so every single day I meet 5 to 10 new widows. I have new relationships. We're relevant. We can have conversation at nighttime, in the middle of the night. Like we are doing the relationship thing. So I want you to, what are your 3 things? And I'd love for you to post them in the comments. What's your 3 things? So I'm always interested in that. I love, fit over 40, those sort of things. But what are your 3 things? And then I want you to go find 5 new connections, good connections, not, don't go find one that has 1 million followers, a bazillion followers. Even farther, deeper challenge is find some that are in your community. Take your 3 things, and then for the next, 3 to 5 days, find 5 new friends that are using that. What I have learned is that if someone they're into CrossFit or they're into gardening, they're probably using that same hashtag over and over. Single moms, they're, all of that. They're going to have boy moms, cheer moms, dance moms. There's going to be so many things. Attitude of gratitude, all those terrier dog, like all of those things. You're going to see like attitude of gratitude is going to be overwhelming. Softball. Okay. So someone may put softball. How about, like for me, I live in Texas. How about a hashtag TX softball or hashtag softball Texas, hashtag moms, narrow it down where it could potentially be volleyball moms. Maybe it's hashtag middle school volleyball moms. Take it down drill it down just a little bit, and you can play with it. It's super fun, so you can take that, and over the next 3 to 5 days, I don't know, Lisa, if it's just, or even if you just do it tomorrow, you'll have a good time with it because you'll be relevant. So go through of your 3 things and find 5 new people for you to follow. People that are inspirational, people that are talking about the same things you want. They may start sharing about this philosopher or this book or this something that you didn't even really know existed in that relevant content that you can now share. I follow these people that, there's some that they read the same type of books. And if you watch me, you'll see in my stories, I'll put my new book and whatever that book is, and I'll be holding the book and be like, you have to check this out. And you can just see my hand, you can see my DFT. So the people that are in this book hashtag or whatever it is, that they're going to be like, oh, I saw you got the book, but what's that on your arm? Or I am posting in, I'm reading this book. Oh my gosh, I got some time to read this book. I post the book, I'm by the pool, and I have my ooh-ee right there. Whatever it is, I'm not only talking to the people in that book community, that specific title and author and that sort of thing, but I'm also using that to reach. Oh my gosh, I fall asleep. I can do 1 chapter and I'm going to fall asleep reading a book. How about you? That's the things that allow me to have relevant conversation, to pull my product in that doesn't feel spammy, that doesn't feel weird, that feels very, very natural. And I honestly don't care if they decide, hey, if she just wants to sell me something, that's fine. Because the truth of the matter is we do have a relevant connection. And honestly, it's your loss if you disconnect from me. So, you know, you have to make sure that you're having fun with it, because I will tell you, I don't know, maybe some of you that are like super Instagram gurus, you can say this if it's just me, but you'll get burnout. If you're having to keep up, if you feel like you have to do a reel, if you have to make a post, if you have to show up, like you're going to get burnout. And so if it's fun, if it's relevant, and if it's something you enjoy, you'll have a good time and you'll be able to be consistent. And when you want to master Instagram and social media, it's that consistency. Everything in life is consistency. Lise?
Perfect. Perfect. I think that's an awesome one. So finding people that are within your kind of niche or the things we've kind of talked about. And I know that we talked about, I mean, everybody's different. That's why I like to do these challenges too, because you guys heard from Brittany Strike, like a week and a half ago, and she said, you need to narrow it down to one niche. Chess posts about many different things and she does very well. I
Yeah,
think
I'm
it's
not, yeah, there's no way I could just be one thing like that. That's not, you know, and Brittany does incredibly well. And so that's where I say, like, I'll watch and see what she does. And I love her, you know, all her things, but I can't be Brittany. I can't compare to her, because I want people to know, because there's, Lisa, I think you and I talked about this at our last retreat. There are some people that maybe they're not believers. Okay. And they really won't come or follow me because that's not their, like, they don't like that I might use a scripture, or that's okay, because that way I know they know what they're coming to me for. They know what they're going to get from me when they're building a relationship. So I want to have my faith in there. I want to have my thrive. I want to have my kids. So that, to me, it works for me and it allows me to still grow. If your thing is just dogs and you're growing, but the thing is, am I having conversation with people about Thrive? Am I getting new connections into my cloud office that are people that are connecting to me? If you're doing just one thing and you're not having conversations about Thrive, then is that working? Maybe you do need to do a change up. But I love that. I love that everybody is different and you've got to find what fits you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, I mean, doing challenges like this, hearing from different people, there's some people that do things one way that works for them. And other people that, like, that doesn't work for me. This works for me. And that's why I think it's so important to plug into people and hear different ways they're doing things and all that. So this is just hearing from someone else telling you, no, it doesn't have to be one. Like, some people, it works both ways. I've seen it work both ways. I think when you're likable, when you do it right, and you're connecting with other people, building relationships, I don't care if you're posting, as long as you're posting what's relevant to you and attracting your tribe, it can be 5 or 6 different things. Like, and you're going to see seasons of your life change. Chassa saw that. Like, the things you were passionate about 1 year ago can totally change on a dime. It could be a new hobby or something happens in your life that changes something. Like, and that's okay to add that. Guess what? Whole new group of people you're meeting, and then the people that you had added from before can still see the stuff you used to do, right? Because you're posting that stuff too, but now you're reaching a whole new audience with new things. So I think it's just be open-minded, and the consistency is key, like Chas said. I mean, that's, I think, the biggest thing with people is nobody's consistent. You know, if it doesn't grow overnight, we're like, oh, that's not working for me. And it's not true. That's just not true. You're just not giving it enough time. I mean, you guys, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you, oh my gosh, I'm so good at Instagram and all I do is spend my time there. I still spend the majority of my time on Facebook, but I promised myself this year, no more excuses. And I was going to make sure that I was in Instagram a couple times a week, and just doing that very lightly, I've gotten up to like 3,000 people. And you know, it's crazy. I have not followed only a few. Like, I've spent most of my time just connecting with people, liking things, and they're coming to follow me. So that also works. But I think it's important just to make sure that you are trying. That's all I ask of you guys when we do these challenges. Just try. Like, it's not going to be perfect. It doesn't have to look perfect. You don't have to know all the things. Just try. That's all. And you're going to be super surprised when you realize wow, I tried that. I didn't die. I want to buy a t-shirt that says I didn't die, because a lot of the times we feel like that, right? We're like, oh my God, this is going to be so embarrassing, or what are people going to think? But after you do it, you realize, okay, that was not as bad as I thought. The next one's even better, and the next one. And sometimes you find you enjoy doing things. So I'm just glad you guys have been so open minded, and so many people are trying new things with this. I know a lot of you guys have done your first reel during this challenge. Some of you guys have gone live for the first time on Facebook, and many of you did your first TikTok ever and your last TikTok ever, but you did it, okay? You did it. You didn't quit that day. And there were people that did. As soon as we put that TikTok challenge out, people like exited out of the page, okay? So listen, some people are so afraid of doing new things that they would rather literally quit than ever try. So I'm just proud of you guys for doing it. And
Lisa,
Chaz, I don't know if you want to end us out with
yes,
anything
I
on
want
your
to
heart.
say, yeah, I want to say, one of the things that Lisa does after these groups, she's been doing them for 10, 12 years. She will send a survey out, and, she'll say things like, when this is done, and the accountability is gone, how likely are you to continue? And it blows my mind. She'll usually message me, she'll blow my mind because people will say, not likely. It's the accountability to each other that I want to challenge you, that find somebody that is in this group as you're going through it and lock arms with them. Commit to stay accountable beyond this group, because what we're talking about is what we talked about last year and the year before and the year before. And yes, people have decided to quit. They've decided to give up. I'm going to tell you right now, the excitement that I hear in Jason Camper's voice and where this product is going is the same excitement that I heard when we launched was it Duo or Burn? I'm trying to remember, but the excitement. And I'm going to tell you, we had people, and this is not a financial claim, but we had people with $30,000 checks, $20,000 checks, $15,000 checks. 1 week, guys, $60,000 checks, like legit. This is legit things, because they took the time, they got excited about what we had, and they used the pre-launch and preparation correctly to catapult their business. He said this won't happen again. And so I look at it from a perspective of, we've been 8.5 years. I've seen it blow through a couple of times when the DFT was released, when we launched our first weight loss product. And then now, should this be that moment in time that this is explosive and insane, what will you do with this opportunity? So you can't just say, I'm here, it's not working for me. When this challenge ends, I'm going to give up. These things that you're getting, whether Lisa made a post on Monday, I would go create you a file, and this is my Monday challenge. This is my Tuesday challenge. And you do these things over and over and over again. Lisa and I were standing at my pergola about a month and a half ago, and Paul Gravett was doing a call, and I'm like, he is saying the same freaking thing he said 8.5 years ago. The same thing over and over and over. There is something to be said about consistency and evolution. Yes, social media is going to change. Yes, Instagram is going to change. Yes, your life may change, your hobbies, your interests may change, but the consistency, how you're posting, how you're sharing, how you're talking to people, how you're inviting them into your community and space, that should never change if your goals and dreams of being successful have not died. So I want to challenge you that you find somebody before this challenge is up that you could say, hey, we're going to start our own little challenge group. Can we lock arms? I don't care if they're upline, downline, sideline, all lines. Find somebody that you can say, I'm not going to be the statistic that after the leaders finish up this group, that I'm in that survey monkey going, hey, I'm not going to do it anymore because nobody's there to show. Let me tell you something. I don't lead you guys as a multi-million-dollar organization because Amber or Maria or Tony or Paul call me and challenge me to show up. They don't call me and tell me that my PPA sucks. Chas has that conversation in the mirror. Chas looks at her cloud office. Chas looks at what she's doing and what she's not doing. I look at my social media and see if there's a gap. You have to own your business and own it as an entrepreneur that is absolutely at the right place, at the right time, with the right product. Get out there and share what you have. Connect to someone right now, today, during this challenge, that come November, they're going to lock arms with you. Guys, one person can change everything for your business. Somebody could be watching you right now that may not join you until King releases, and they decide I'm going all in. You don't know who they've been talking to, what relationships they know, what networks they have. And they say, hey, you know what? I'm ready to partner with, and I'm ready to do this thing. That could be game changing for you, for your family, for the legacy roadmap that you have in your hands. So guys, do not waste it. So Lisa, thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I will have Chess get me the recording when she has time. Chess, like, it doesn't have to be right now, but sometime by tomorrow. So I thank you for recording. I appreciate it. And thanks to all of you guys for getting on tonight. And that's it. We'll see you guys next Thursday, same time, same